Hello subscribers, friends, whoever's watching. This is Human Girl. As per the title of this particular video, we're going to be talking about the emotion anger today. And yes, this is kind of a off-the-cuff video in terms of the sense that I do my videos based on what is going on in my own life, and try to give you guys as much of a structured, healthy perspective and balanced as much as I can on whatever's going on that I think might be helpful to share with a wider community, and hopefully start a dialogue on whether it be through my blog where I discuss things mainly narratively and poetically, or whether it be in a more straightforward way here. And so I have been finding throughout my life as I progress and heal from a traumatic background that that anger is a huge emotion that can be used for either good or ill. And you may be saying duh at this point, because I think we've probably all seen examples of both. We've probably all seen examples of anger being used in a way that can be abusive or manipulative or damaging. And we can see anger also being repressed and shown in subtle ways, like being passive aggressive, that are just as hurtful but just not quite as loud and intense as what I would call the fake power of anger when it's used to domineer and control. I saw that a lot in my life. I saw anger being used to dominate, being used to control, being used to overpower and manipulate. And so I turned to the other end of the extreme, and I became someone who repressed all feelings of anger, and I repressed the feeling of being upset and frustrated, and because I decided that wasn't my right. I decided that being angry meant you were out of control, because I saw people out of control who were angry, and I put two and two together as a child, as kids do, and I labeled anger as being bad, as being wrong, as being something that always made you out of control, something that always ended up breaking something, whether it be a literal physical object or someone's heart, and often both. And so I kind of labeled anger as being bad, as being wrong, and definitely as me not being able to express it, able to have it. And so the parts of me that were angry, when I did get angry, because I'm a human being and there are things that happened to me that made me very angry, and rightly so, I would push those away and alienate those, and kind of just like think of the image of a teacher putting a child in the corner and saying, have some time out. That's what I would do with my anger. And so I became very split in my personality, in the sense that when I was angry, I would disown it and be like, this is not me. My anger would then be so repressed, it would come out extremely violently internally, in terms of just a torrent of negative thoughts or words, or over-the-top reactions, sometimes externally, so most of the time internally, to things that triggered me. And so I'm understanding that anger can't be avoided, it needs to be worked with. And so I have found that there's a positive to anger, in the sense that it empowers me to make decisions. It empowers me to, for instance, if I'm a doormat, if I'm a clinging violet, which I've had a problem being both in my life, codependent, allowing other people to walk all over me. Anger empowers me to stand up for my rights and my needs, and to give myself healthy self-care, and to stand up for myself. Anger also allows me to stand up for other people. When other people are abused, anger is a signal to let me know that something is wrong. And so at the very base minimum, anger is a good signal we should be watching out for. It's telling us, hey, something's not right here, whether someone else is being abused or whether I am. Now, we can also be angry when there's, not necessarily abuse going on. We can be angry about a lot of different things. But just the idea that anger can be a positive is something that's new to me, something I'm wrestling with. And just to be honest and vulnerable about my struggle, it is not always easy, because I have a lot of anger stored up in my heart that I was never allowed to express. And so there are times when I straddle two different worlds. I feel like, wow, I'm being triggered in this moment, but it's not necessarily because of what's happening in the moment. It's because of the anger that's been stored up because of the abuse from the past. And so just being aware of triggers points, and then being aware of the fact that anger can be a very good and positive thing if used rightly. Yes, it can make people out of control, but that's more fake power. Anger can empower you in a way that's healthy for you and others. And I don't have all the answers about it, but this is more of a processing from my heart to yours about the idea that I'm getting in touch with this emotion we call anger, and something I used to see as negative completely, as a black and white kind of distinction, and now I'm starting to see, hey, it's a valid emotion like everything else, and I'm in this journey of learning how to deal with it, and understanding that it can be positive and beneficial. while also knowing, while also having to straddle those two worlds sometimes and be like, hey, I'm so angry right now. I don't think it has anything to do with this person or this situation, but I'm feeling overwhelmed because of all this stored up. And so finding healthy ways, whether it be running, taking a walk outside, taking a little break from whatever you're doing, just even punching a punching bag. I've been known to do that too. It's better than punching someone's face. So yeah, just finding ways to deal with it that are healthy, but just being able to accept that I can be an angry person and still be okay and still not be out of control and still be me without pushing it to the side and saying this is a whole different person. And so just to encourage y'all that those emotions we often label as negative can be empowering and good and positive and right factors in our lives if we can use them in a healthy way. And so as the Bible would say, be angry but do not sin. So that's my encouragement to y'all today.